need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. Niggas need to wake up. Niggas need to relax and take notes. While I take totes, relax and take notes. While I take totes of the marijuana smoke, relax and take notes. While I take totes, relax and take notes. While I take totes of the marijuana smoke.
Situation. How did the rumbling start? Was it from the source cover to this, to this, to this? How did the rumbling start to where what we knew was D-Block, what the streets knew was D-Block? Because the magazines, that was one thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in the hood, you never really walked in the projects and seen Source magazine sitting on a coffee table. You know what I'm saying? Like we had Clue tapes, we had this, we had that. That's how we knew what was going on. You dig what I'm saying? How did that start? How did that internal issue start?
I mean, to be completely honest with you, it was a collection of things. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like one particular thing or this thing
It's
here.
never one thing.
Yeah, it was like, it's like me taking full responsibility for shit because I was, you know, as a kid, you're not going to address a lot of things you're supposed to address as a man. You're not going to be able to identify the issues that you may be able to identify later on in your life. And I didn't like speak on them immediately when I should have spoke on them. So I kind of let stuff build up and build up and build up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Till eventually got
there was a lot of different stuff. And it's like,
what was the
when
build-up,
when it came to that boiling point, it was, I think one of the last things that, like for me, it was, because my whole position was, okay, so when we got our first deal, right? Each deal that we had actually, I was an intricate part of. We had two different deals. The first deal that we had was with Motown Universal, right?
Right.
That deal was structured for a Sheeklouch album and a J-HOOD album.
Right.
They didn't want one without the other, right? So obviously I was a large part of why we got that deal, if I just told you that. So, all right, so we signed that deal. Sheek ended up dropping the Walk With Me album.
Right.
That's where everyone heard the Two Guns Up single from, right?
Right.
Now, after he released that album with Universal, for whatever reason, he wasn't pleased with the outcome as far as like the marketing and other things like that when the project dropped. So what he did was he started negotiating a different deal with Koch.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I was already signed and set to release an album with Universal, which for whoever doesn't know was a major label. Mm-hmm. Any new artist would need a major label to be, you know, to prosper and be successful. Mm-hmm. But at that time, I wasn't looking at it like that. So, like I said, when Sheek went to go negotiate the new deal with Koch, he came to me and was like, you know what? We have a better opportunity for you over here. And he basically explained to me what the splits would be as far as like on a monetary level. He's like, listen, you can stay over here and get 60 to 70 cents off of each album, or you could come over here and get $3 off of each album with Koch. I'm like, listen, I had just signed a deal with Universal. I got like a $35,000 advance or something like that. And I'm like, listen, man, if you guys can get me out of this and get me another deal over there with y'all, it's not even a question if I'm going to go already. I'm going with the big homies, you feel me? Like, you don't got to ask twice. Mm-hmm. So they end up maneuvering me out of the Universal deal and getting me over on Koch. I had to put this out there, which was the largest independent company at the time. So we went over there, and the deal that we got over there was structured the same way. But the only difference with this deal was they added a DVD to it. Mm-hmm. So they got a sheeklouch album, a J-HOOD album, and a D-Block DVD. Now, at this point, I got it on fire in the streets. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. Like, on everything, on every mixtape, every freestyle, yo, Tales from the Hood coming soon. Yo, Tales from the Hood coming soon. Right. Nigga like, come on, my nigga, you keep saying that shit. When that shit dropping? Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, so I'm scheduled to drop on Koch. Like, we working on the album. But Sheek come to me, he like, listen, they want me to drop first because I'm already a known and established artist, so they feel more secure and more comfortable with dropping me first. Right. Like, I'm gonna be extremely honest. I didn't completely buy that. You You know what I'm saying? Because I'm out here with the youngins in the streets on the pavement. I know what they want to hear and I know what they're waiting for and all that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm a team player. So, okay, cool. You want to drop first? All right, go ahead. So he ended up dropping first. And
This was what album?
this was the second album. Now, for everyone that doesn't know, like, first and foremost, D-Block as an imprint, as far as artists goes, you only have sheeklouch and J-HOOD. We're the only artists on that label. And to give you a little bit of backstory on it too, also, like what everyone didn't know was what D-Block is really Sheek's label. Like Kiss and Styles was just the cosign. So when we got,
they don't split up anything.
I mean, they split it, but at the end of the day, Sheek has the last say so with everything.
Right.
So once we get the deal on Koch and I'm supposed to come out, to my knowledge, the budget wasn't cracked because we didn't do anything. We didn't shoot any videos. We didn't, do anything like that. But we started working on my album, and I got to pick the producers that I wanted to work with and all this other type of stuff.
Who was the producer?
I felt like super confident with it. I had Alchemist on the album. I had DJ Premier on the album. I had Kwame on the album. I had Pete Rock on the album. Who else? I had all type of all of the illest producers that you made.
Where's this album?
Locked in the D-Block vaults. I didn't get to take any songs when I left.
Wow.
So so when it was time for us to start working on everything with my album, I just felt like people didn't put forth the same effort or the same energy that they put forth into Sheek's project on Koch. So unfortunately, after we signed the Koch deal and I got my advance, which was, I think it was like 20,000, 25,000. On a regularly you would have to wait 3, 4, 5 weeks for the advance after you sign the paper. It was just a bunch of different things that happened when we signed the deal. First and foremost, when we signed the deal, they allowed me, and I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not saying they made me do anything, but they kind of advised me to sign it without my lawyer being present. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen.
Who's they?
The Locks.
Okay.
We went to the meeting with Koch. Their lawyer was present. They was there. My lawyer was on his way. For whatever reason, he was late. They listen, bro. Nigga, you family. We ain't about to tell you to sign no BS. You know what I mean? Listen, you're the only one that's holding up the bread. As soon as you sign, the funds will get released. I'm like, all right, Sandy will be here in a minute. Just chill. Man, just sign the paper. Ultimately, end of the day, I'm responsible for it. I end up signing the paper. And so now I have to wait on my money. Someone borrowed 25 out of the company account. So basically, they took my advance, and I had
someone?
I'm not gonna name no names like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be looked at a certain way. But anyway, somebody took the 25 out, and I had to wait till it was replaced, till I got my advance. And unfortunately, while I was waiting, the apartment that me and my mother lived in burned down, and I lost everything that I owned. I lost $10,000 in cash. Everything was lost.
Right.
I end up on the news, in 2, 3 news channels.
Yeah. J-HOOD and his moms.
Yeah,
so he live with his moms, y'all.
Yeah, all that.
I mean? That was what niggas was saying. Wait a minute, he live
But
with
the thing is this, right?
Right.
My mother at that time, she had just learned that she had just been diagnosed with liver disease. So I was assisting her, and on top of assisting my mother,
pressure.
Yeah, one of my youngest sisters had autism, so I was helping her deal with real life stuff.
More pressure.
Living with her, right? You know what I mean? So
how old was you at the song,
18.
18.
Come on, man.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
the whole
that's a
time
lot.
he's saying this, I want to say, how old are you? This is crazy.
You're supposed to be living with your mother at 18. That's
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I know that's what the trolls was saying, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But what the trolls don't know is, right, it's crazy. I moved out at 16, actually. And I had my own studio apartment at 16. My mother ended up getting a crib upstate. That's when I got kicked out of Yonkers school, ended up going to school in Mount Vernon, and I had the crib. But once she moved back to Yonkers, I ended up moving back with her and all that. But when the 25 got replaced, the crib ended up burning down. And when I finally got it after that happened, I got it probably 2 weeks, probably 2.5 weeks after that happened. I ended up getting it. And 25 ain't really nothing, especially when you just experience something like that.
So was niggas holding you down with little pocket cash here, yo, hold this. Yo, your crib just got burnt down, hold this.
I mean, truthfully speaking though, you know what I'm saying? When I got my 25, I had to basically replace my mother, her furniture, get her a new spot.
Right.
give a couple dollars to the fam, you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Whose fault was it for the fire?
It was. Nobody ever said whose fault it was. All I know, it was a 2-alarm fire. It caught the fire from our building, went to the next building, the power lines. It was like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
So I ended up having to pay for my mom's hotel for like 2.5 weeks, getting a new spot. Anyway, by the time like I looked up that 25, first and foremost, I didn't get the whole 25 as a whole. I got it in increments because I'm gonna tell you why I messed up.
555.
I ended up getting. I had the same accountant they had, and I only had 25,000. Realistically, I didn't need no accountant. That nigga charging me $900 a month, and he's not doing nothing but allowing me to take 4,000 out at a time.
You had an accountant,
Right?
to get 25.
Facts.
And nobody came to your aid. Like, yo, we know
This
what
is
just happened with the
crazy, man.
crib,
This is-
with Mama Love, with your sis.
Now
Yeah.
that's an interesting question. Now this was the turning point that kind of made me feel a certain way, right? After this took place, like normally I wasn't going to the mother label, which was Koch at the time. You know what I mean? Because I let Sheek and Super Mario and the people that deal with that because I have my trust in them. Something told me one day, just go down there just to check up on things, just pop up. I ended up popping up with one of my guys, and we sat down with Alan Grumpler, who, for anyone who doesn't know, the general manager over at Koch. We sat down, and he like, listen, man, I heard about the unfortunate situation that you just experienced. I sincerely hope that what we was able to contribute and give you like really helped you out.
Too much.
I'm looking at him like,
this is too much.
what you talking about? What you gave
It's
me?
ridiculous.
He looked at me like, yeah, man, what you talking about? What we gave you, man? I'm looking at him like, for real, what you gave me? What you talking about? He like, listen, man, we cut a $60,000 check and gave the guys when they came down here and told us that your house burned down and you needed assistance. You know what I'm saying? So we hoped that helped you. I'm like, what you talking about? He looking at me like I'm crazy, like I'm lying. I'm like, bro, I really don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So when I found that out, and there was only 2 people that had authorization to sign off on behalf of me.
Who was?
I mean, it was Luch and Super Mario.
Right.
And SP could have, but you know what I'm saying? It was either one of those 3. So when that happened, that kind of like made me feel like a certain way for real. I'm like, man, damn.
And what the fuck is Hey, we about to get straight into it on Straight Drop TV. Hey man, we got a little bit of old beef going on. You 2000 babies, you might not know who the hell I'm talking about when I mention J-HOOD and Styles P. J-HOOD came on Styles P platform and the podcast and explained what went wrong when he was signed with D-Block. And Styles P was just on there previously. So Styles P is mad at Math Hoffa because Math Hoffa didn't ask Styles P no questions on J-HOOD. But then you come bring J-HOOD on your show and ask some questions about me. And I think Math was kind of wrong. I mean, Styles P, he is the real original D-Block member, owner. If he come on your platform first, I think all questions should have been asked his way first. And then you bring his underdog under you. And then you can ask your questions next. You shouldn't bring the underdog on and then ask questions. You understand what I'm saying? Come on, man. You a motherfucking podcaster. You know better than that. You dudes looking to start some shit, man. You know what I mean? And J-HOOD was a nobody. I never liked his music. Never liked his style. I think he was too loud on the mic. All that screaming and yelling and shit. Never had a hit. And this one of them type guys that just want to blame. As you heard from the audio I played, that audio I played was him. And he just sounded like somebody who never made it, and you just looking for 1,000,001 excuses to blame people or to blame on why you didn't become successful. And my nigga, ain't nobody put a gun in your head and make you take no record deal. This is the paperwork. This is the promotion. This is how much you'll be getting. You chose to sign that. You understand what I'm saying? You could have stayed independent, stayed underground, keep bringing your name up, and then go sign to a label. When you're signed to a artist, as a artist, how far are you expected to blow? Like, what are you really trying to do? Are you trying to take his spot and put him out of business? Like, you signed to a artist. You need to skip the artist and get to a record label. Warner Brothers, Koch. You understand what I'm saying? Universal, Atlantic. You need to sign to a record label. That's the only way you will get a career. You sign to an artist, you will never have a career, J-Hood. And you thinking about it now, man. You know, you spoke your mind on the podcast. Things went left, but it ain't too bad. I guess they could talk it out. You say he owe you money. I have no idea what that's about. Only them two can meet each other face to face and squash it up. But here is Styles P response. This is Styles P response to J-Hood on Straight Drop Motherfucking TV, man. And we start from the couch to the kitchen to the motherfucking stove, man. Everybody,
Because I'm moving on. It's the last of the year. You know, I usually don't feed into this. The group doesn't feed into this. It's been 20-something long years. First and foremost, Math, I'm disappointed in you, bro. In my expert opinion, you didn't ask me anything about J-Hood. Then you want to have J-Hood up there. You could have called me on my line to fact check the shit he was saying. But you got to do what you got to do. We all got to do what you got to do when it comes to working and getting business out. But that, my man, was some whack-ass shit. But I get it. Love is love. I still love y'all. Still love the show. Get what it is. But next time, you could G-check or fact-check the thing. One, we ain't no clickbait group. Luch don't owe you no fucking interview. And nobody definitely don't owe J-Hood no fucking 60 G's. I'm really disappointed in J-Hood, to be honest with you. Hood, it's been 20-something years, bro. 20-something years. We never spoke greasy about you after you did your bullshit, you did your sucker shit. Nobody never said anything wrong about you at no time. Actually, after you did that bullshit, I spent about 3 years of my life protecting your ass. When people wanted to touch you and harm you in places and call me and had to drop on you, leave that man alone. God bless him. You know what I'm saying? But here it is 20 years later. Luch been in your house to fight your father for you before. Niggas gave your mother money when your house burnt down. We actually made you into the artist you are. Luch used to argue with Flex to play your shit and do this, but your old 60 G's, the label didn't even really want to fuck with you, but your old 60 G's, and the sucker shit about it, why I ain't even say, you know you ain't no 60 G's because you tried to fucking sue us. You went to the lawyers. You tried to sue us. You tried to see that we had your publishing, to see that we didn't have your publishing, and your publishing was there. And then I bet you never told the people there that I told you, Hood, whatever you want to do, however you feeling, God bless you. I'll make sure it's okay. We'll fix what needs to be fixed, how it needs to be fixed. But you still went and did that sucker shit you did. So the niggas never wanted to fuck with you. And 20 years down the line, you are still bitter and using our name for attention. Why didn't you make successful albums in them 20 years or do something with your time successful? That is on you, my brother. You're not part of D-Block because you ain't cut from the cloth we cut from. We would never turn around because we ain't happy, or the niggas who took care of you, you feel old more that you never gave shit to, that gave you your name, your look, your fucking everything, and you wanted more looking at other people and you didn't get it, so you decided to flip. You ain't like us. So that's why it didn't work. But I'm offended that you didn't just go up there and actually fucking apologize. I don't know why you didn't just apologize. And how the fuck are you a co-founder of D-Block? Are you fucking kidding me? I love you. I wish you the best. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing. But keep our fucking name out your mouth, man. Keep our name out your mouth, and anybody, you speak on our name with respect. We showed you niggas what loyalty is, what honor is. I don't care about clickbaits. I don't care about interviews. Do your shit and get it right. J-Hood is not D-Block because when he did the sucker shit, he didn't have discipline, dedication, and determination. So, boom, that's all it is. But damn, Hood, you should have apologized as a grown man 20 years later and just left it at that. But no, here we go. Nobody owes you a damn thing, and stop lying on people's names. Like, I've never addressed this shit in all of these years. Always say, God bless you, keep it moving. But damn, bro, 20 years later, you still... Come on, man. What's up, bro? What's up with you? 20 years later? Are you kidding me? 20 years later, you don't got nothing better to talk about? We never spoke on you bad, never said anything ill about you, never been on any radio station, anywhere, TV, and said one damn thing about you. You dragged the chain on the floor, you ran around, you was trying to be with 50 and them. G-Unit didn't take you after neither. You flipped because you thought they was going to take you. That shit backfired on you. See, you're not saying everything that happened, and I don't want to bother to say it because it's fucking 20 years ago, and who gives a fuck? Move on with your life. But you ain't gonna lie and say somebody robbed you for something they didn't rob you for. When niggas did nothing but years of taking care of you. Did you ever get charged for a studio fucking session ever? Did anybody ever ask you for a receipt or money back or do anything when niggas bought you gear, clothes, sneakers, helped your mom pay the rent? Did anybody ever give you a fucking, like every other fucking record company, an invoice? No. Relax, buddy, and keep it G. And just as far as this clickbait shit comes, man, stay honorable or don't. But don't try to use us for clickbait. That shit ain't fly, man. That shit ain't fly and it ain't cool. I'm fresh out the gym and I'm on my 5th post seeing you live. And I'm tired now. Now I'm fucking tired. It's been 20-something years and you want to use our shit to stay alive? Nah, buddy. Stay up. God bless you. Wish you the best. Do something else with your time, man. Do something else convenient, constructive, and self-helpful to yourself. Please.